is Suhei, and this is my first video on my YouTube channel. If you want to see how I did this cranberry smoky eye, keep on watching. So to start off, the only thing I have on is some Nivea lip balm to moisturize my lips so I can have no chapped lips when I put on my liquid lipstick on later. So to start off, I'm using my number 12 Anastasia eyebrow brush, and I'm using my pomade in the color dark brown, and I'm going to start off by brushing my brows up, and then I'm going to start making a line underneath my brow. Once I get it long enough, I start by like the middle of my top brow, and then I start making my arch. Then I connect it to the bottom of the end of my tail, I guess you would call it. And then I just start filling it in, but not the front part at all. I have thick brows as it is, so I never fill in the front of my brows or else I'm gonna be looking a little crazy. So here I am just filling in the eyebrow and just staying in within the lines I made. Here I start to underline the front of my brow, and I just flick it up the slightest amount with a light hand just to make a natural looking fade. So it's just not completely bald there, and so the colors are a little more balanced out. After I fill in my brows, I'm gonna start to clean up my eyebrows with some concealer, and I'm gonna use a flat brush for that. So the concealer I'm going to be using is the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer in the color 03.5, and I'm going to put that on the back of my hand, and then I'm just going to use a flat brush that I got at Five Below. I know, Five Below, who cares? And then I kind of like pinch it a little bit so it gets a little flatter than it already is, and I start by underlining where my arch is at the bottom, and then I make sure it's really precise because I want a nice sharp looking eyebrow. And then I go all the way to the front of my brow as well. Now I'm going to be grabbing a little bit more, and I'm going to start by concealing the top of my eyebrow. I always start around the tail or the middle where my arch is, and I just do the same thing that I did at the bottom, just on the top, and I blend by just pushing it away from my brow, and then I kind of like dab it with my fingers a little bit, and I do the same thing for the top and everything. The next thing I'm going to be doing is be using my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Sand, and I'm going to be using that as a primer for my eyelids. And I'm just going to put that all over my eyelids, and I'm going to blend it in with my fingers since my other brush was dirty because of Halloween. I'm going to be setting that using the Kat Von D collaboration with Too Faced. I'm going to be using the white shade. And I'm just going to be setting that with a fluffy brush that I bought in Mexico. I think it was by GK Beauty. And I'm just going to set my whole eyelid with that. The eyeshadow palette I'm going to be using today is my Very Dirty Morphe 35O palette. I'm going to be using this light orange shade all over my crease, and I'm going to keep going back and forth between the palette and my eye until I get it as pigmented as I really want it to be. So right about here is when I noticed that this is as bright as I wanted that orange to be, and then I'm going to do the same thing I did on that eye to the next one. I'm going to be switching brushes to a Morphe pointed blending brush, and I'm going to be using a dark orange now, and I'm going to put that in the crease. I'm going to start with a little bit of product, and then I'm just going to keep going back into the eye so I can build up the intensity of this color. As you can see here, I'm using windshield wiper motions. That way the colors can fade into each other and go from the nice light orange that we put in the crease earlier to the darker color that we put in precisely with the Morphe brush. And we're going to do all those steps that we did on that eye to the next one. Remember to keep on blending until the colors look like they're just melting together, and that's when you know you've blended enough. Although there's never enough blending. I'm going to be going in with my Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to be using the colors Red Ochre and Venetian Red. And I'm going to be putting that exactly where I put the darker orange color, and then I'm going to be using a clean blending brush just to further blend everything out. I'm also going to be taking the brush that came with the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to be taking Love Letter, and I'm going to be putting that a little bit over where I put that orange color in our crease just to make it a little more cranberry. Also, I apologize for singing through this video, so I'm just going to mute that. Now this is my favorite part. I'm going to be cutting my crease using the Tarte Shape Tape that we used earlier. We're just going to go a little bit over my natural crease so that you could see it when my eyes are open, since my eyes are a little bit hooded. And then we're just going to blend that out. This is only going to be a half cut crease, so you don't have to go all the way across. So now we're going to be adding white to the front of the lid. Using the Kat Von D color that we used earlier to set our whole eyelid. So now I'm going to be mixing the two colors that we used earlier in the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to be putting it in the middle of my eyelid, and then I'm just going to blend that in with the white until I feel like there's no harsh lines. So from here on, I'm just going to put on some eyeliner and some lashes. I'm just going to skip that part because it's pretty basic, I think. So I primed my face using the Milani Hydrating Pore Filler. And then I'm going to be using my Matte and Poreless foundation in the color 128. And I'm going to be putting that on with my fingers. And then I'm going to blend it out with my Real Technique sponge. Here, I'm just going to be putting on my concealer. I mixed my Tarte Shape Tape and the NYX HD concealer together just because the Tarte one is too bright and the NYX one is too dark. So I mixed them together for the perfect match for me. And same thing with my foundation. I just blended it in with my Real Technique sponge. So to contour, I'm going to be using my Holy Grail Hoola Quickie Contour Stick, and I swear this is the easiest thing you can use to contour. It blends like a dream, I promise. So all of my friends know this, but this is my favorite part. I'm going to be using the collab of Dose of Colors, Desi x Katie, my favorite YouTubers, and I'm going to be using the highlighter Fuego. And my tip on how to get the best highlight out there is to not set your face whatsoever before you put on your highlight. Before you set anything, put on your highlight. That way your highlight is going to sink into your foundation and it's just going to look like you're glowing within. To further melt that highlighter into my skin, I'm going to be using the Mario Badescu Rose Water Spray. So since this foundation is already really matte, the only thing that I set is my under eyes so that it doesn't crease at all, and my chin and a little bit of my forehead. So now I'm going to be taking Red Ochre and Love Letter, and I'm going to be putting that right under my eye just to make it a little more smoked out. So now I'm going to start adding the white that I added to the inner corner of my eye to the bottom of inner corner of my eye, if that makes any sense. And I'm going to connect them. So it just looks like it's all bright in the front, and then towards the outer of my eye, it's a lot darker and cranberry, and the inside is a lot brighter. By the way, the faces that I'm making is because I kept dropping my palettes, and I kept getting really scared I was going to break them. So originally I had put on the Mary Kay liquid lipstick in the color taupe, but I felt it was a little too pink, so I put on top of it the Anastasia liquid lipstick in the color Ashton, and I felt that was a lot better for this look, and it gave me more fall vibes. So yeah, I love this color so much more, and it made my lips look really big, so that's a plus. So on that note, that brings this video to an end. If you liked this video and you want to see more from me, subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, and maybe comment down below and tell me what you thought of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and it really means the world to me that you took your time to stop by and watch.